beautiful souls, there is a certain quiet strength. That comes with age. It isn't loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It is a gentle confidence that settles in your bones after decades of living. You learn what matters. You learn what to hold on to, what to let go of. You understand that your stories, your experiences, your inner world, they are precious. They are not commodities to be handed out to just anyone who asks. This wisdom teaches us that some things are sacred. They are meant to be kept close, protected within a circle of deep and earned trust. It's a lesson that often arrives softly, not with a bang, but with a quiet realization that peace is our most valuable asset. I want to share a story with you. A few years ago, I was sitting with a dear friend. We were enjoying a quiet afternoon, the kind that only long friendship can create. She told me about a difficult decision she was facing, something deeply personal. She didn't share the details with our wider circle of friends. She didn't post about it online. She shared it only with me and one other person she trusted completely. She told me, "My life is my own story to write. I get to choose who reads the private chapters." Her words stayed with me. They spoke to a profound truth about dignity and self-respect that grows stronger with every passing year. This idea of choosing who reads our private chapters is at the heart of our conversation today. It's not about being secretive or building walls around ourselves. It's about being intentional. It's about understanding that our energy, our peace, our personal information, they are finite resources. We must be thoughtful about how we spend them. In a world that constantly encourages us to share everything, choosing discretion is a powerful act. It is an act of self-preservation. It is a declaration that you value your own well-being, enough to protect it from unnecessary noise, judgment, complication. So, let's explore this together. Let's talk about the quiet strength of keeping some things for yourself. We will journey through the why and the how of creating a life that feels safe, serene, entirely your own. This isn't about hiding from the world. It's about engaging with it on your own terms. It's about cultivating a deep sense of inner peace that no one can take away from you. It's about honoring the wisdom you have earned over more than 50 years of life. This is your time to define your boundaries and protect your peace with grace and confidence. As we cross the threshold of 50, our relationship with the world begins to shift. The frantic energy of our younger years gives way to a desire for tranquility. We have spent decades building careers, raising families, navigating the complexities of life. We have given so much of ourselves. Now, there is a natural turning inward. Protecting our privacy is not just about safety. It's a profound act of self-care. Like tending a garden, be selective about what you allow to grow. Keep your space beautiful and peaceful. Think of your life as a well-kept home, a welcoming front porch, a living room for friends, a private study, a private bedroom. Not everyone at your front door gets a key. Personal information works the same way. It keeps your sanctuary undisturbed. It preserves emotional and mental well-being. This need for privacy rests on three principles: dignity, safety, and autonomy. Dignity means maintaining self-respect. Avoid unwanted pity. Avoid judgment. Avoid unsolicited advice. Safety, financial concerns. Safety, personal concerns. Beware scams. Beware manipulation. Autonomy means making your own decisions. Health decisions, financial decisions, life decisions. Oversharing can compromise all three. Learn to be discerning about what you share. It's a quiet revolution against oversharing, a commitment to peace of mind. You're not shutting people out. You're inviting the right people in, on your terms, creating calm confidence and inner security. Conserve energy for what matters: health, joy, the people you hold dearest. In our time together today, we will walk through 5 specific areas where a little more discretion can bring a great deal more peace. This is not a list of rigid rules. Think of it as a gentle guide, a series of thoughtful invitations to reflect on what you share and with whom. We will explore these topics with warmth and understanding, using relatable stories to bring the ideas to life. My hope is that this conversation will empower you to build boundaries that feel both strong and graceful, protecting your inner world without isolating you from connection and community. First, we will discuss your financial details. We will talk about why sharing information about your income, investments, so inheritance plans, can create unintended pressure and risk. Next, we will turn to the sensitive topic of your health issues. While support is vital, we will explore how to share your journey without attracting unwanted pity or giving away private medical data. We will consider how to create a trusted circle for support while maintaining your dignity. This is about managing your health story with the same care you manage your health itself. Our third area will be family drama and personal conflicts. It is so tempting to vent our frustrations, but we will look at how publicizing family disputes can often add fuel to the fire. We will discuss healthier ways to process these feelings and protect your most important relationships from public scrutiny. After that, we will touch upon sensitive opinions. In a world that feels increasingly divided, we will consider the wisdom of choosing our battles and knowing when to hold our tongues to preserve harmony in our social circles. Finally, we will approach the most delicate subject of all, your deep regrets and past traumas. These are the most sacred parts of your story. They deserve to be handled with immense care. We will talk about why these stories should only be shared with the most trusted individuals or professionals who are equipped to help you heal. Throughout our discussion, we will offer practical advice and even simple phrases you can use to deflect questions with grace. This is your guide to curating a life of quiet confidence and unshakable peace, the hidden risks of financial oversharing. Your bank balance is not small talk. Guarding your investments and inheritance plans, practical steps for financial privacy, setting boundaries with grace and firmness. Money is more than just numbers on a page or coins in a purse. It represents security. It represents freedom. It represents the culmination of a lifetime of hard work. As we journey past 50, our financial landscape often becomes more settled, but also more complex. We may have a pension, savings, investments, plans for how we want to pass on our legacy. This financial stability is something to be proud of, a testament to years of diligence and planning. However, this is also a part of our lives that requires the utmost discretion. Sharing details about our finances, even with the best of intentions, can open a door to a host of hidden risks that can disturb the very peace we have worked so hard to build. The world we live in is not always as kind as we wish it were. There are individuals and organizations that specifically target older adults, viewing them as a source of potential financial gain. When we casually mention a recent inheritance, a healthy investment portfolio, or a substantial savings account, we may not realize who is listening. This information, in the wrong hands, can make you a target for sophisticated scams. These can come in the form of convincing phone calls, emails, or seemingly friendly new acquaintances. They prey on trust and can unravel a lifetime of careful saving in a single moment, leaving behind not just financial loss, but a deep sense of violation and regret. But the risks are not always so overtly malicious. Sometimes, the complications arise from within our own circles, from people we know and love. Sharing financial details can inadvertently change the dynamics of our relationships. A well-meaning friend might start offering unsolicited and often risky investment advice. A family member, knowing the extent of your resources, might feel more comfortable asking for a loan that puts you in an awkward and difficult position. These situations can breed resentment, create tension, and transform loving relationships into transactional ones. Your financial peace is intertwined with your relational peace, and protecting one often means being mindful of the other. Therefore, we must treat our financial information with the same level of privacy as our most personal secrets. It is a boundary that protects us not only from external threats, but also from internal pressures. By keeping these details close, we maintain our autonomy and control over our own resources. We ensure that our decisions are driven by our own wisdom and needs, not by the expectations or demands of others. This is not about being mistrustful. It is about being prudent. It is a quiet act of self-respect that safeguards our security and allows us to enjoy our later years with the serenity we deserve. Let's talk about a specific number that should remain intensely private: your bank balance. In our culture, there can be a strange curiosity about how much money others have. It can come up in casual conversation, sometimes disguised as a joke, or a seemingly innocent question about retirement readiness. Someone might ask, "You must have a nice nest egg saved up to travel so much? Are you all set for retirement?" These questions may seem harmless, but they are probes into a deeply personal area of your life. Your savings account balance, your checking account total. These are not topics for small talk. They are private figures that reflect your personal security and your life's journey. Sharing your bank balance, even a rough estimate, can create a cascade of unintended consequences. If the amount is perceived as large, it can lead to jealousy or assumptions about your lifestyle. People might begin to see you not as a person, but as a resource. You might find yourself receiving more requests for financial help, some of which may not be genuine needs. On the other hand, if your balance is perceived as small, it can invite pity or condescending advice. It can make you feel judged or diminished in the eyes of others. Neither outcome is desirable. Your financial worth is not a measure of your human worth, and you have no obligation to present it for public review or commentary. Consider this relatable scenario. A lovely woman named Eleanor, recently retired, was at a community gathering. A neighbor, making conversation, asked her how she was finding retirement and whether she had saved enough to be comfortable. Feeling put on the spot, Eleanor downplayed her situation, mentioning that things were a bit tight. For weeks afterward, this neighbor would bring her unsolicited financial pamphlets and offer well-meaning but ultimately patronizing advice on budgeting. Eleanor felt embarrassed and wished she had never shared anything at all. Her private financial reality became a subject of public concern, robbing her of her sense of dignity and competence. The simple truth is that no one needs to know how much money you have in the bank except you, your spouse, and perhaps a trusted financial advisor. It is your safety net, your tool for living, and your private affair. Resisting the urge to share or to answer when asked is a powerful boundary to set. It protects you from judgment, unwanted solicitations, and the complex emotional fallout that comes from mixing money with casual relationships. Your bank balance is a part of your private infrastructure. It is not a topic for public consumption, and keeping it that way is a fundamental step in protecting your peace of mind. Beyond the immediate cash you have in the bank, there are other financial areas that demand careful discretion: your investments and your inheritance plans. These elements of your financial life are deeply personal and future-oriented. They represent your hopes for your own future and the legacy you wish to leave for the next generation. Discussing the specifics can create significant and often painful complications. Stock portfolio, real estate holdings, how you plan to divide your estate. It is a landscape fraught with potential conflict, and navigating it requires a map drawn with firm private lines. This is not about secrecy for its own sake. It is about preventing future heartache for yourself and those you love. When you speak openly about successful investments, it can attract the wrong kind of attention. Much like discussing a large bank balance, it can make you a target for scams, or for friends and acquaintances seeking a hot tip or a loan. It can also create an atmosphere of unhealthy competition or comparison in relationships. Discussing investment losses can invite a flood of unsolicited, conflicting advice, leaving you confused and anxious. Your investment strategy is a personal journey based on your risk tolerance and goals. It should be guided by professional advice and your own quiet consideration, not by a committee of casual observers. Even more sensitive is the topic of inheritance. Deciding how to distribute your assets after you are gone is one of the most significant personal choices you'll make. Sharing these plans prematurely can be a source of immense family drama. It can create expectations. It can foster rivalries between siblings or other relatives. It can lead to pressure to change your will. A parent who casually mentions that a particular child will inherit the family home may ignite jealousy and hurt feelings among other children. These conversations are best had in a formal, intentional way, often with legal counsel present, rather than being dropped into casual family dinners. Protecting the details of your estate plan is an act of love for your family. It allows them to live without the weight of future expectations or resentments. It gives you the freedom to make and adjust your plans as you see fit, without pressure or guilt. Your will and your legacy are your final gifts to the world and to your loved ones. The creation of that gift should be a private, thoughtful process. By guarding these details, you are not being distant. You are being wise. You are preserving family harmony now, and ensuring your final wishes are respected later, allowing your legacy to be one of peace, not conflict. Understanding the importance of financial privacy is the first step. The next is to put practical measures in place to protect your information. These are simple, concrete actions you can take to build a fortress around your financial world, ensuring it remains secure from both digital and physical intrusion. These habits are not about living in fear, but about living with awareness and intention. They are the everyday tools you can use to enforce the boundaries we have been discussing. One of the most fundamental steps is to be mindful of your physical paperwork. Bank statements, investment reports, tax documents should not be left out in plain sight where visitors might see them. Invest in a simple filing cabinet that locks, or designate a specific drawer or box for all sensitive financial documents. When you receive financial mail, open it promptly, then file it securely, or shred it. Never simply toss documents with account numbers or personal information into the trash or recycling bin, as this can make you vulnerable to identity theft. This simple act of managing your paper trail is a powerful, low-tech way to maintain your privacy. It ensures that your financial details are not accidentally exposed to a house guest, a repair person, or anyone else who comes into your home. It's a small habit that provides a significant layer of protection. In our digital age, online security is just as crucial as physical security. Cultivate strong online habits to protect your financial information from hackers and scammers. Use complex, unique passwords for each of your financial accounts, and enable two-factor authentication whenever it is offered. This adds a critical second layer of defense. Be wary of unsolicited emails and text messages asking for personal information, even if they appear to be from your bank. Legitimate financial institutions will never ask for your password or full account number via email. When you need to access your accounts, type the bank's web address directly into your browser rather than clicking on a link in an email. Finally, think about who truly needs to see your financial information. This circle should be incredibly small. It may include your spouse, a trusted, certified financial planner or accountant, the person you have designated as your power of attorney, or the executor of your will. Even they may only need access to certain information at a specific time. For everyone else, the details are on a need-to-know basis, and most people in your life do not need to know. By consciously limiting who has access to your paperwork and your online accounts, you take firm control over your financial narrative and significantly reduce your vulnerability. Knowing you should keep financial details private is one thing. Navigating the actual conversation when someone asks a direct question is another. It can feel awkward or even rude to refuse to answer. However, it is possible to decline with grace and firmness, protecting your boundary without damaging the relationship. The key is to have a few simple, polite phrases ready in your mind. You do not owe anyone a detailed explanation. A gentle deflection is often all that is needed. Preparing these short scripts can give you the confidence to handle these moments smoothly, without feeling flustered or pressured into sharing more than you wish. If someone asks a question about your income, savings, or the cost of a large purchase, you can respond with a warm but vague statement. A simple, "Oh, we managed to get by. We've been very fortunate." Another wonderful phrase is, "I actually make it a policy not to discuss money. I find it keeps things simpler." This is a powerful statement because it is not personal to the person asking. It is about a universal principle you follow. You can deliver it with a gentle smile to soften the refusal, making it clear that you are closing the topic, not the connection with the person. Let's practice a few more. If a friend asks about your investments, you could say, "You know, my financial advisor handles all of that. And honestly, my eyes glaze over when I try to talk about it." This uses humor and self-deprecation to change the subject. If a relative probes about your inheritance plans, a firm but loving response is necessary. You could say, "That's something we are handling privately, but please know that we love everyone in the family very much." This response validates their place in the family while clearly stating that the details of the will are not open for discussion. It reinforces the boundary with love. Ultimately, setting these boundaries is an act of self-respect. You are teaching people how you wish to be treated. Your confidence and calm delivery are your greatest tools. There is no need for apology or elaborate justification. A simple, clear, and kind refusal is enough. With practice, it will become second nature. You will find that most people respect a clear boundary when it is presented with grace. By preparing these gentle scripts, you empower yourself to protect your financial peace in any conversation, ensuring your private life remains just that, private. This allows you to engage with others openly and warmly on all the other wonderful topics life has to offer. Our health is our most intimate and fundamental possession. It is the vessel through which we experience the world, the very foundation of our daily lives. As we journey through our 50s and beyond, our relationship with our health often becomes more complex. It requires more of our attention. We may face new diagnoses, manage chronic conditions, navigate the natural changes that come with aging. This journey is profoundly personal. It is a story filled with uncertainty, resilience, quiet strength. Our health story deserves sanctity, shared intentionally and with great care, not broadcast for casual consumption. We naturally seek connection when we're vulnerable. The urge to talk about a health challenge can be strong. We seek understanding and empathy. Knowing we are not alone brings comfort. But there's a vast difference between confiding in a trusted loved one and sharing detailed medical information with casual acquaintances, neighbors, or a wide social media audience. The former brings healing and support. The latter can lead to unintended consequences that disrupt your peace and compromise your dignity when you need it most. Think of your health journey as a sacred text. It contains chapters of vulnerability, pages of medical terminology, personal notes on your deepest feelings. You wouldn't leave such a book open on a park bench. You would choose your readers carefully, share with those who appreciate its depth, handle it with respect, and offer genuine support. Oversharing feels like giving away pages of that text. It dilutes the significance and turns a personal journey into gossip. That can be deeply unsettling and disempowering. The first step in protecting your peace is recognizing the sanctity of your health story. It is yours to hold, manage, and share on your terms. Not about suffering in silence, about being a wise, discerning narrator. Create a circle of trust where you can be vulnerable without fear of judgment, pity, or violation of your privacy. By honoring your health journey, you reclaim your power and navigate challenges with grace and self-respect. When we share details about a health condition in a casual setting, we often hope for empathy. What we frequently receive, however, is something quite different: pity. Pity is not the same as empathy. Empathy says, "I am here with you in your struggle." Pity says, "I am up here, looking down at your unfortunate situation." Being on the receiving end of pity can be incredibly diminishing. It can make you feel smaller, defined not by your whole self, but by your diagnosis. A neighbor who learns of your heart condition might start treating you like you are fragile and incapable. That can chip away at your sense of independence and vitality. This unsolicited pity can be a heavy burden to carry. Beyond pity, casual disclosure almost always invites a flood of unsolicited advice. People mean well, of course. The moment you mention a struggle with arthritis, high blood pressure, or sleep, you may find yourself inundated with suggestions. They will tell you about a miracle cure their cousin tried, an article they read online, a restrictive diet that you absolutely must follow. While offered with kindness, this barrage of information can be overwhelming and confusing. It can create anxiety and make you doubt the treatment plan you have carefully developed with your doctor. Your health management should be a calm, considered process, not a chaotic free-for-all of conflicting opinions. The risks of oversharing your health information extend beyond social discomfort. Our personal information is a valuable commodity, and medical data is particularly sensitive. Sharing specific details about your health on social media or in other public forums can have unforeseen practical consequences. This information could potentially be seen by insurance companies or used by fraudsters to create targeted scams. Imagine a scammer, knowing you are managing diabetes, calling you with a convincing but fraudulent offer for a new glucose monitor. Being discreet about the specifics of your condition helps protect you from these modern-day risks. Ultimately, by sharing our health struggles too widely, we risk losing control of our own narrative. Our personal and private journey becomes public property, open to interpretation, judgment, and misuse. Instead of feeling supported, we may end up feeling exposed, overwhelmed, and even endangered. This is the opposite of the peace we seek in our later years. True support comes from a small, trusted circle that offers empathy without pity, listening without unsolicited advice, and unwavering respect for our privacy. Protecting ourselves from the dangers of casual disclosure is a critical act of self-preservation. Section 3. Your diagnosis is not a conversation starter. In social gatherings, there can be a temptation to use a recent health scare or a chronic condition as a way to make conversation. It can feel like a significant event in our lives, something that naturally comes to mind when someone asks, "What's new with you?" However, it is important to pause and consider the implications. A medical diagnosis is not a piece of interesting news. It is a profound and private piece of information about your body and your life. Using it as a conversation starter can inadvertently reduce its significance and invite the very issues we have just discussed: pity, unwanted advice, and a loss of personal dignity. Let's consider an example. A man named Robert was recently diagnosed with a manageable but lifelong autoimmune condition. At a neighborhood barbecue, a casual acquaintance asked him how he was doing. On an impulse, Robert shared his new diagnosis. Instantly, the tone of the conversation shifted. The acquaintance's face filled with concern, and the lighthearted chat turned into a somber medical debriefing. For the rest of the evening, others who overheard the conversation approached Robert with sad eyes and hushed tones, asking if he was going to be okay. Robert left the party feeling not like a neighbor, but like a patient, his identity for the evening reduced to his illness. It is far more empowering to keep your identity separate from your diagnosis. You are a whole person with hobbies, interests, stories, a lifetime of experiences. You are a parent, a friend, a gardener, a reader, a traveler. Your health condition is something you manage. It is not who you are. When you introduce it into casual conversation, you risk letting it define you in the eyes of others. It is much healthier to lead with the other, vibrant parts of your identity. Talk about a book you are reading, a trip you are planning, a project you are enjoying in your garden. This keeps the interaction on a positive and equal footing. This doesn't mean you must lie or pretend everything is perfect. It is about choosing the right venue and the right audience. Your support group, your therapist, your spouse, your closest friends are the appropriate audience for the details of your health journey. They are the ones who have earned the right to hear your story and who are equipped to offer genuine, empathetic support. With casual acquaintances, it is perfectly acceptable and far more peaceful to keep the conversation light. Your diagnosis is a private matter, not public information. Guarding it protects your sense of self and your inner peace. The tempting release of venting and its hidden costs. Family is the bedrock of our lives, a source of love, support, connection. Yet it can also be the source of deep frustrations and conflicts, misunderstandings between siblings, disagreements with in-laws, worries about our adult children. When these tensions arise, the urge to vent can be powerful. Sharing your side with a friend, with a neighbor, can feel like a necessary release. It feels good to get the burden off your chest and hear, You are absolutely right. But that immediate gratification carries hidden costs that ripple outward. What seems harmless can turn a private conflict into a public spectacle. Once you share details, you're shaping someone else's opinion of your loved one. A friend hearing about your argument may start to view your sister negatively. That judgment can follow them into future interactions. You might forgive and move on, but your friend's view can stay tainted. We risk damaging reputation and widening the circle of discord, all for a fleeting validation. Venting also solidifies our sense of righteousness. Telling the story from our view paints us as the victim or the hero. Listeners, wanting to be supportive, will usually agree. That echo chamber reinforces our stance and blinds us to the other side. It entrenches anger and makes compromise harder. Instead of resolving, we double down, prolonging the conflict and deepening the rift. True resolution needs empathy. Public venting pushes empathy away. Temporary relief often isn't worth the long-term damage. It can break trust with those we hold dearest. Imagine learning a sibling, or your child, shared intimate details of your private disagreements with friends. It would feel like betrayal. Protecting privacy is an act of respect. It signals the family unit is sacred and should handle problems within confidential bounds. This safeguards relationships and preserves dignity. Section 1. The power of holding your tongue, navigating sensitive opinions. In the rich tapestry of a long life, we gather not just experiences and memories, but also a firm set of beliefs and opinions. Our views on politics, our views on religion, our views on morality. These convictions are a core part of who we are. They feel true and right to us. In our younger years, we might have felt a fiery passion to debate these points, to persuade others to our way of thinking. However, as we cross the threshold of 50, a different kind of wisdom often begins to settle in. We start to understand the profound power and peace that can be found in holding our tongue, in choosing discretion over debate, especially in mixed company. Section 3. The sacred weight of regret. Moving from the realm of opinion to an even more private space, let us talk about our deep regrets. A life lived for over 50 years will inevitably have moments we wish we could do over. There may be words we wish we had not said, or words we wish we had. There might be paths not taken, opportunities missed, relationships that ended badly. These regrets can be heavy. They are the ghosts that live in the quiet corners of our minds. They are the stories of our imperfections. They are our human fallibility. They are some of the most sensitive and sacred parts of our personal history, and they carry a weight that must be handled with immense care. Sharing a deep regret is not like sharing a funny story about a youthful mistake. It is an act of profound vulnerability. It is opening a door to a part of your past that is likely filled with pain, shame, or sadness. Broadcasting these stories to a casual audience is a deeply unwise and potentially harmful act. It can invite judgment from those who do not understand the context. It can lead to simplistic and unhelpful advice like, "You should just let it go." Such platitudes can feel dismissive and invalidating, adding another layer of hurt to an already painful memory. Your regrets are not light conversation. They are part of the sacred text of your life. Therefore, the stories of our deepest regrets should be reserved for the most trusted of listeners. These are not stories for the public square. They are stories for the therapist's office, for the confessional, for the quiet, late-night conversation with a spouse, or a lifelong friend who has earned the right to carry that weight with you. They deserve to be met not with judgment or easy answers, but with deep empathy, compassion, and unwavering confidentiality. By treating our regrets with this level of sanctity, we honor their significance and create the possibility for true healing and self-forgiveness, rather than risking further pain through careless disclosure. Section 1. The dignity of discretion. As we bring our conversation to a gentle close, let us reflect. The central thread through our discussion is the quiet dignity of discretion. In a world that often shouts, choosing what we share is a powerful, graceful act. we journeyed through 5 key areas of life: your finances, your health, your family conflicts, your sensitive opinions, and your deepest wounds. Guarding these stories can profoundly enhance your peace. This isn't about building walls of isolation, it's about curating a life where you feel safe, respected, and in control of your narrative, a cornerstone of dignity in later years. Section 2. Your life, your story, your terms. The overarching message of our time together is one of empowerment. You are the author of your life story. You get to decide who reads which chapters. You hold the pen. You control the narrative. This is your sovereign right as we accumulate a lifetime of experiences. As we conclude, I want to leave you with one final thought: viewing the practice of privacy as the ultimate act of self-care. In our younger years, self-care might have been about bubble baths or weekends away. But in this rich, mature chapter of life, self-care takes on a deeper meaning. It is about the deliberate cultivation of a peaceful inner world. It is about protecting your energy, your emotional health, and your mental clarity from the unnecessary noise and drama of the outside world. Guarding your personal information is one of the most profound ways you can tend to your own soul. Think of it this way: every time you choose not to engage in gossip, you are caring for yourself. Every time you politely deflect a probing question about your finances, you are caring for yourself. Every time you politely deflect a probing question about your health, you are caring for yourself. Every time you decide to write in your journal instead of posting your frustrations online, you are caring for yourself. These small, conscious choices are deposits into your own well-being account. They build a reserve of calm and resilience that you can draw upon when life presents real challenges. This form of self-care does not cost a thing, but its rewards are immeasurable. This is your time. It is a time for less noise and more meaning. It is a time for deeper connections with a chosen few, rather than shallow interactions with the many. It is a time to enjoy the peace you have worked so hard to create. You are creating a sanctuary within yourself, a place of quiet strength that no one can disturb. So I encourage you, with warmth and respect, to value your privacy as a precious gift you give to yourself every single day. Let it be the boundary that protects your beautiful garden. Let it be the gentle fence that allows you to rest and recharge. Live your life with an open heart, but a discerning voice. Share your wisdom, your kindness, and your light freely. But hold your most sacred stories close, and in doing so, protect your peace. Thank you for spending this time with me.